Some of you were worried that I wasn't vlogging anymore, but here I am, vlogging. My first tip is to make extra copies of all of the papers that you hand out at the beginning of the year. I love to change it up and do something different, you know, something a little exciting on Fridays, and what is more exciting than marshmallows? Today in math, we are gonna be doing a digital escape room, and it is 50s themed. Alexa, turn on bedroom light. Some of you were worried that I wasn't vlogging anymore, but here I am, vlogging. I will say I'm gonna be cutting back to one, maybe 2 weekly classroom vlogs a month. I have a lot of reasons why. I'm not gonna bore you with them in this video, but if you are interested, look down in the comments. I will write out all the reasons I'm kind of making this shift and just, you know, pin it down there. So if you're interested, check that out. Now let's flash back to the end of last week. Friday afternoon, I actually had a substitute because I was out for a doctor's appointment. Kind of lame, I know. But one of the first things I did when I came into my classroom this morning was cleaned off my desk, because you know what they say, messy desk, messy mind, empty desk, empty mind. It doesn't quite work like that, but I love to have a clean desk. I will say my desk was left very neat and tidy. The substitute was actually one of my good friends from college, and she is welcome back in my classroom anytime. Yesterday, Monday, was actually Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. We were off school, so I am now returning to school on a Tuesday. I am getting a new student today. I'm really excited about it. I know some teachers get very stressed and overwhelmed with new students, but I'm gonna give you all a few quick tips to help make it that much less stressful. My first tip is to make extra copies of all of the papers that you hand out at the beginning of the year and hold on to them. So throughout the year, if you do get a new student, all you have to do is get out those papers and lay them out and you are all set. I personally have an extra papers drawer, so anytime I have extra papers, I just, you know, stuff them right on in there, and then it's pretty easy to get out later. So what I have laid out is our Meet the Teacher letter, our 4th grade handbook, our emergency info form, and our parent survey. That way it's not too overwhelming, but when the new student comes in, if their parent does walk them in, I can give these to their parent. If not, the new student can just put it in their folder. Another tip, always have a pencil available. You never know what kind of supplies your new student may come with, so I always make sure there is a pencil on their desk so they can get started on the morning work. Obviously, when you get a new student, you want to make sure that they feel welcome, and there's just a plethora of ways that you can do that. Personally, I have a morning meeting with my class every single morning. It lasts 15-20 minutes. So this morning, I'm going to make sure to introduce a new student to the class, make sure the rest of my students know to help that student if they need help. And my last tip, I always assign the student a buddy, so someone else from the class who can help them throughout the day. Because we are departmentalized, the student is in my homeroom class, but I don't necessarily teach them for blocks. So I make sure to pick a student who is in my homeroom and both of the new students' block classes throughout the day. That way they are there all day long and can help them, and it's just one face that the new student will get to know really, really well, and they'll be able to help them, make them feel at home, all that good stuff. I wanted to give you all a quick update on my secret word. I mentioned this before as a classroom management strategy. Every day I pick a different word. Whenever my students hear that word, they have to immediately give me their attention. Now it is towards the end of the second marking period, and I try to change up my classroom management each marking period, but let me tell y'all something. This secret word, ooh, it has just been working so well that I'm gonna keep it the rest of the year. Now, when it comes to picking the word, a lot of times I pick it and it may have something to do with like a lesson, or it may have just something to do with like a holiday or something going on. But today, at the end of the day, I let my two ladies who help me out, they're like my teacher's assistants, they got to pick my secret word. And I was like, whatever, just pick something, you know, as long as it's school appropriate, I don't really care. And look at what they picked. They picked the word impact, which is the word that I have on my cabinets back here. I love the word impact. I just think it's a really important word and it applies to so many things. So the fact that they picked that as my secret word just melted my heart. And while we're over by my whiteboard, quick story time. You may remember over the summer, I filmed a Target haul and I had gotten this super adorable magnetic holder for my whiteboard to hold all my markers. Yeah, that little sucker lasted like 2.5 seconds and the magnet fell off and I ended up trashing it, but I still wanted something to hold my markers. So what I came up with, this is just a basic black plastic cup. I got these in a 3-pack from the Target Dollar Spot, but you could use any old little plastic cup. And I wanted it to stay on, and instead of using a magnet, I actually used some hook and loop fasteners. I put one piece on the plastic cup, one piece on the board, and then that way I can stick it on there and it's nice and sturdy and it won't fall off. The school day is done, but unfortunately my work is not. Before I head out of here, I need to get my e-coach log completed. So I am the e-coach for my school. Basically, I help out the teachers with technology. I give professional development on technology. And at the end of the second marking period, I have to submit a log of my hours that I've spent. So I need to get that done because I have to get it signed and then I have to send it off by Friday, and today's Tuesday. So, you know, should probably not procrastinate anymore on that. But once I do get that done, I am heading out of here. I'm going to the gym, which I love. And then once I get home, I don't have any work to do tonight, so that's good. I'm gonna get my work done at school, I'm gonna get my bottom to the gym, I'm gonna get my bottom at home on the couch, and I'm gonna relax and watch some TV, and I will catch you all tomorrow. It is now Wednesday, and one of the first things I did this morning was get myself some caffeine, because yesterday I had no caffeine, and I was dragging by the end of the day, so not today, because coffee. Today is a little bit of a busy day. I have to go to a CDM meeting this morning, which stands for Collaborative Decision Making. I am meeting with my administrator during my planning time so that I can go over my SLO, Student Learning Objective, and then I have to plan with my team teacher. And then after school, I am judging the Geography bee. So let's do this. All right, friends, I've made it through most of the day. We are getting there. It's currently like 5:15. I have to head to Geography B to be one of the judges in about 30 minutes. So I'm gonna quickly talk through my science lessons this week. I get asked the most about science, I think because a lot of teachers do not have a curriculum or resources, and if that's you, I am so sorry, but hopefully these little talk throughs of my lessons will give you some ideas that you can use in the future. We are currently talking about weathering and erosion, which I'm condensing to 3 quick lessons. Number 1, because my students already have background information because of our field trip that we did before winter break, and number 2, we're running out of time in the marking period. So lesson number 1 is basically a review of weathering and erosion, a lot of going over notes and going over definitions, things like that. I start by showing my students several pictures of the Grand Canyon. Some of them are professional photographs, some of them are actual pictures of me at the Grand Canyon, which they always love to see, and we have a conversation about how the Grand Canyon formed. After I get some of their hypotheses, I show them a video. It's by SciShow Kids on YouTube. Absolutely love that channel. They have a lot of great informational videos. They're very entertaining. After that video, we talk about the definition of weathering and the definition of erosion. I love to use hand signals with my students as well, and it just helps it stick in their head. So we always do weathering breaks it, erosion moves it, and then deposition drops it. So I show my students definition slides, we do those hand motions, and then we also look at some different GIFs or GIFs, however you pronounce it, of weathering and erosion. I think those just also help it kind of stick in my students' minds. Then once we've gone over those together as a class, we complete the doodle notes. I got these off of TPT and I absolutely love them. My students get to color them in either while they're waiting for me because they're maybe working a little bit ahead, or while they're waiting for me to pass them out, whatever. They get to sit there and just kind of doodle and color on them. And there is actual scientific research that shows that that helps people remember things. So I'm a supporter of doodle notes. We fill those out together, and then that was basically the end of the first day because we only have like 30 minutes for science. Now for lesson 2, it's a little bit more interactive and I really enjoy it. We review the definitions of weathering and erosion. We review our hand motions. We watch another video on weathering and erosion and a sing-along song. I get all those from Discovery Education. And then we get to the fun stuff. We do a little experiment with weathering. I give my students a dum-dum and they get to suck on it for 2 minutes. I set a timer. It's a beautiful 2 minutes because it's super quiet in the room. They take it out, they put it on their wrapper so they can observe it. And then I give them one of these puffy mints. I don't know what else to call them, but I've always called them puffy mints. They do the same thing. They suck on it for 2 minutes and then it's kind of gross, but they basically spit it out and put it down on the wrapper on their desk, and we look at the differences. The Dum Dum weathers away a little bit, whereas the mint weathers away a lot, and we have a good conversation about why that is. We talk about how the mints are very uneven in their shape. They kind of have cracks, and that causes them to weather more quickly than the Dum Dum, which is very symmetrical in shape and very solid. I love this lesson because A, my students get to eat candy, so they are all about it, and B, it sparks a lot of good conversations. Then lesson 3, we kind of put it all together and we talk about the entire process of weathering, erosion, and deposition. So I do a little relay race with my students and it's a lot of fun. All you need for this are Legos and a cup. For this lesson, I split my students into 3 different groups. I took my STEM bin of all my Legos and I divvied them up into 3 bags. I think I put about 20 to 25 Legos in each bag, and then I gave that bag to each group of students. I had them use their Legos to build a rock, and I told them they could build a rock however they wanted. They could make it like a square, a rectangle, they could have it all lopsided. Didn't matter, they just put their Legos together. Then as a relay group, 1 person at a time would break off a Lego. They had to carry it to the other side of the room by crab walking, and then they had to deposit it into a cup. I love this lesson because of all the discussions we get to have. We have a conversation about how students that built their rock as like a perfect square or rectangle actually struggled to weather off the pieces a little bit more versus my groups that had a very irregular shaped rock, because their pieces were able to be broken off much easier, and that leads back to the conversation we had the day before. We have a good conversation about how once they weather away their rock gets smaller, but once they deposit into the cup gets fuller and fuller, and we talk about how that changes the landscape of the earth. I hope that was helpful for you. It may not have been. Trying to explain a lesson is kind of difficult in comparison to just showing it, but unfortunately I cannot actually film myself teaching the lessons. I've got to head to Geography B, and then after that I am peacing out because I am starving, so I will catch up with you all tomorrow. It is Thursday morning and I am already exhausted. First of all, Geography B last night went until about 8 o'clock, so I did not have a whole lot of time to get things done last night. I overslept this morning. I had one of those mornings where I dreamed that I was up getting ready. In reality, I was still sleeping. As soon as I did wake up, I checked my phone and realized we had group pictures today. Kind of forgot about that. So I had to quickly get ready so I could look halfway decent. Got to school. I had a 5:04 meeting first thing this morning, and then it's been really chaotic since then because of group pictures. Every 10 minutes, they're calling a different group down. Thankfully, right now it's my planning time, but I know once we get into our block classes, it's gonna be very stressful because kids are gonna constantly be coming and going, but you just gotta go with the flow. On the plus side, I was given this as a little gift this morning, a little token of appreciation for volunteering to judge Geography B. So we've got some chocolate, we've got a little card, and we've got some pencils. Chocolate will be eaten right now, card will be hung up, and pencils will be given to students, only for them to lose them 5 seconds later. Same day, different shirt. Because of group pictures, I had to change my outfit halfway through the day, but we have made it to the end of Thursday. I don't have a whole lot to really share from the day. It was just a very normal, average day. But that being said, I have something really cool planned for tomorrow. I am so excited. Even though I'm exhausted, I am literally pumped to come to school tomorrow. That's all I'm gonna tell you for now. I will give you all the deets in the morning, okay? Deets stands for details. So get excited because it's something I've never done before and something probably a lot of you have been hesitant to try, but I'm gonna finally try it and let you know how it is. So for now, I need to go get to the gym, get some stuff done tonight, and then I will share the exciting news in the morning. Happy Friday. I love to change it up and do something different, you know, something a little exciting on Fridays. And what is more exciting than marshmallows? Every month we have a core essential. It's a different quality that we focus on for the month. And for January, our core essential is self-control. So about 2 weeks ago, we talked about the marshmallow test, which if you've never heard of the marshmallow test, basically a kid is given a marshmallow and they're told you can either eat that marshmallow now or you can wait a predetermined period of time and then you will get a second marshmallow if you have not eaten your first marshmallow. So it's great for talking about self-control. We talked about the experiment and we watched some like videos of kids doing it about 2 weeks ago, as I mentioned, but I'm going to actually do it with my students this morning. So I'm putting out a marshmallow on each one of their desks, and then at the end of morning meeting, anyone who has not yet eaten their marshmallow will get a second marshmallow. And I thought that would be fun for Friday morning. You probably thought the marshmallows is what I was really excited about last night, but it's not. Today in math, we are going to be doing a digital escape room. I've done escape rooms in the past and they are so much fun, super engaging for your students. They can be adapted for basically any content area, any grade level. However, they are so time consuming to prep. It's a lot of printing and laminating and cutting and putting into folders, and it's a lot of work. I had heard a lot about digital escape rooms, but I was very hesitant to try them. I don't know why, sometimes change just scares people, but I finally am taking the dive and we are gonna do one today in math. I went on to TPT and I found one. It fit what we were doing perfectly. It's all about division and interpreting remainders and multi-step problems, and it is 50s themed. Now, before I talk about the actual escape room, y'all know I'm dressing up for this, okay? That's what I love to do. I went onto Amazon and I got some 50s themed clothes, and I cannot wait to see the look on my students' faces. So real quick, I'll go over the different parts of the outfit. The glasses and the scarf were part of a little accessory pack on Amazon. It was about $10. The shirt is actually a shirt I've had for a long time. It's just a black and white striped shirt. The poodle skirt is also from Amazon. It was about $20. It's a felt material, and the waistband is elastic, so it's like one size fits most, but I love it because I'm gonna be able to scoot it on right over top of the skirt I am currently wearing, so my students don't even know it's coming. Then for the shoes, these are a pair of Oxford shoes. They're about $20. I'm actually wearing a kid size because it was cheaper than the adult. I'm typically a 7.5 or an 8 in adults, but if you subtract 1.5 from your shoe size, at least for women's, that will give you your child's shoe size. So I'm wearing a size 6 in kids. Now let's talk about the actual digital escape room. Unlike other escape rooms for the classroom, digital escape rooms are zero prep. All I had to do was post a link for my students in Google Classroom, print out the recording sheet, and I'm all set. Now this is hooked up through a Google site, so you would want to make sure that that's not blocked by your school. But once your students go onto the Google site, you'll see there's like a little Google form on the side. That's where they will put all their answers in, and if it's correct, it will allow them to escape. If they're not correct, they can go back and make changes. Then there are a bunch of pictures farther down on the website. Some of them are linked to things, some of them are not. When you click on the images that are linked, it will take you either to some kind of a puzzle or a Google Doc or Google Sheets, and the students have to solve whatever problem or problems are there, and then they take those answers and insert them into the Google form. I cannot wait to do this with my students today. I'm literally so excited, and I've always said, if I'm not excited to teach a lesson, I can't expect my students to be excited to learn it. I have to say, the escape room today with my little ankle biters really razzed my berries. Yes, I did Google some 50s phrases. I did use them all day, and no, I have not been able to see all day because I've had fake glasses on. The escape room was literally a blast. My students loved it. I know they loved it because one of my students had an early dismissal and they were begging their parents not to go. I also had students who were supposed to leave early to go help with the flags up in the front of the school, and again, they were begging not to have to go and do it today. It was just so much fun. My students were so engaged. It ended up where about half my groups in the morning and half my groups in the afternoon did escape. The other half did not, but I told them, I posted it on Google Classroom so they can go home over the weekend and they can work on it. And if I can have my students wanting to work on math over the weekend, I've done my job. What I love about these escape rooms is that not only does it promote the problem solving and the application problems, but it also promotes collaboration because my students had to kind of divide up the work together, and then put their answers together to put into the lock codes. Plus, it also helps working on communication because my students have to communicate with each other, and it just all around is great. Both of my classes had about 55 minutes to try to escape. That was a little bit short. I wish they had closer to like 70, 75 maybe 5 minutes, and I think more groups would have escaped. But overall, I will absolutely be doing this again next year. I loved it, my students loved it. If you have not tried a digital escape room, highly recommend it. It can be kind of nerve-wracking when you do something for the first time, but I guarantee you, you will love it. It is zero prep. Your students will end up loving it, and it's just all around a good time. That being said, I am exhausted, you know, putting on an outfit and kind of getting into character and running around the room to try to help my students, like giving them little hints when I needed to so that they could escape. Definitely wore me down. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I've got to go to the gym, go home this weekend, work on some grad school stuff. So I appreciate you all watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please, please, please go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. If you all want me to do more vlogs, give a thumbs up. Like I said, I'm planning on doing 1 a month. I may end up doing 2 a month if you all are really liking them. Just, you know, let me know. If you have not already subscribed to me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. As always, thank you for watching. I love you all so much. Don't forget to put on your positive pants, and I will catch you all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of this video and for supporting my YouTube channel. If you want to check out any of my older videos, you can use the 2 links right down here. If you want to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any future videos, you can use the link right up here. The links to all of my social media sites, my Teachers Pay Teacher store, my merchandise store, and my Amazon store are in the description box, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.